Hello, hello, hello. This is Adrienne Berg, and this is the Ageless Traveler. And today we're going to California wine country, Paso Robles. That's the way I like to say it. But I hear that if I was born there, if I was really a local, it might be Paso Robles. We'll see about that. Now, I had a fabulous experience, and you may know that I have been on the road looking for great places to celebrate a 55th anniversary. Yes, and I found one. It's called Summerwood Winery and Inn, and it's a beautiful place. But there's something more to it than just that it's so nice. I felt lucky. I actually felt lucky to be there. And sometimes I go to places that are very, very expensive and they have all kinds of amenities. And the truth is, I went to one the night before and I didn't feel so lucky. And I started to think, what are they doing over there at Summerwood? Because it's very subtle. You got to know about it. And we're going to learn about it from the people who are actually on the ground doing it. We're also going to learn a lot about California wine country and wine tasting and what it means to join a wine club and new trends with regard to that. And of course, how to celebrate in style. So I thank you all for being here. We have three folks with us today, a beautiful panel, Celeste and Angie and Margaret. All right, I do want to start right now a little bit about the inn, because I have to say, Angie, that there was something so special. First of all, it gleams. It just gleams, right? So clean and beautiful. Second of all, it feels like a country house that you built for yourself. Like you're walking and say, oh, isn't that nice that I have this country house? How do you give that feeling to it? Because after all, you have people coming in for a few days. You got a big turnaround. And yet it just feels like it belongs to everybody who walks in the door.
Well, first of all, we have fabulous housekeepers who take ownership of everything that they do. They treat the place like it's their own. Anybody that walks through the door, I always make it a point to make them feel special. I want them to feel important when they walk through that door with a great greeting and welcome them and hope they enjoy their stay with us.
I understand, Celeste, that it's run by a family and owned by a family for almost 3 decades, I guess about 25 years.
Yeah.
Tell us about the family and their culture.
Yeah, the family is the Fukai family. They're based in Osaka, Japan. And I actually got to go there this year and visit with them and kind of see more about the Japanese culture. It was Kaseo Fukai. It was the initial founder. That was the father. And it was kind of passed through the family. And now it is his wife, Setsuko, and the daughter, Mayu, who run it. So we're kind of women run, which is fabulous. We love it. And the culture is just, it's very detail oriented. It's very genuine hospitality. It's very thoughtful. And I think you kind of get that feeling when you come here. It's very, and you also get that, like what you were talking about, the being clean and pristine. Yes. That's very much part of the Japanese culture. They're very attention to detail. And we do try to portray that in our experience. And I do have to say, our housekeeping staff has been with us for for the whole 25 years. The same ladies are cleaning and they love it, and we love them.
Right. It's as Angie said, it seems like they have taken ownership of this.
Yeah.
And the pride actually shows. And that isn't always the case in a big establishment. Now, let's talk about the reason people go, though, to the Summerwood Inn. They go there because of the wines. So let's say hello to Margaret. And I really did enjoy our conversation that we had there about wine tasting. So let's start that. People might do 2 or 3 wine tasting a day in the California wine country. What are some hints and tips that you think they should adhere to? Or do you set it up so that they're tasting the wines in the right order?
When you come into the Summerwood tasting room, we do set it up in an order that does have some thought to it. So building on the next wine, each wine, we have 2 flights that we pour. We have our classic, and then we have our reserve tasting flights. Classic, I would say, is more of what we call our core wines. And the reserve just sees a little bit different recipe, shall we say. So maybe a little bit more French oak, more of those red-driven wines. But both tasting flights have 2 whites and 3 reds. So you do build upon each wine as you go. To touch on maybe a day of tasting, 2 to 3 is what I would suggest as max. Your palate becomes a little bit taxed. And I think if you try to do more in a day, then you're not tasting wine at that point.
So let's stay with this, Margaret, and that's the wine club. I know you told me that there's some new trends that are going on. So let's talk about the trends first, and then we'll talk again about how people should decide whether they should join that particular winery's club. Tell us about the trends.
So I think there are some new trends. We're trying to entertain a younger traffic into the club. And so I think those traditionally individuals resonate with more of a subscription style because there's loyalty programs everywhere and they understand. I give my cell phone number, I get a text, and then my email, and then I'm in, and then I accrue points based on my spending habits. We don't have that format here at Summerwood. We're more of a traditional wine club, 2 shipments twice a year, 6 or 12 bottles. You can do what we call our seasons club, which would be a flight on our classic tasting. And then you can do our private reserve, which is more of our reserve wines. And we do have a nice following of individuals that have been with us for a long time. But it is a 6, 12, twice a year, spring, fall shipment with perks. So yeah, the perks are nice. 20 to 25% off wines, depending on what club you're in. 20% off your stays at the inn, which is very nice.
Very nice.
And then we release new releases to the club first, and then it comes into the tasting room second. So you definitely can secure those wines before they hit our tasting room. And then you receive up to 4 tastings with compliments each visit. So you can bring your friends and enjoy the tasting room with them. And also you receive discounts on any of our events that we have.
So let's go to Angie and then Celeste on this same question, which is using Summerwood in conjunction with seeing the whole Napa area, the Paso Robles area, Sonoma, which is what we did. Because you can easily, if you have your own car, you can see a lot of what's happening there. Let's take that tourist first. The person who's coming there maybe for the first time, maybe 3 or 4 times max. They're seeing all new wineries. They don't belong to a club. They have no affinity yet to anything. When they come to Summerwood, one of the things that they get greeted with is a happy hour. And they can taste some wines right away. Is that something that was instituted 25 years ago, or it just seems like such a perfect way for new people to get introduced to both the food, the place, and the wine at the same time?
Yes, I think it's been since day one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that hospitality, that genuine hospitality, bringing them in, giving them food and wine, and really getting to connect with them and, giving them that kind of peaceful, special experience. Yeah.
I also think it makes it more approachable.
Yeah.
It's not stuffy. It's not bellying up to a bar and going in chronological order of those wines. Wine is meant to be enjoyed with food, so therefore you are greeted with that. Yeah. It's a great.
It's very welcoming. They love it.
Yeah. It's like small and intimate, but like welcoming. I mean, it's just nice.
One of the things I noticed was that because it is at a particular time, the people who are staying there are together, even though they didn't know each other in the first place. It reminded me actually of breakfast at the bed and breakfast in England, where they serve you breakfast and everybody's eating at the same time. They don't know each other, but they tell each other where they're going that day, what they did the day before. And that's what was happening there. Mm-hmm. Oh, I went to this winery, I tasted that. And they were just sharing and getting to know each other over this happy hour because they were in the same place at the same time. And that was really a wonderful treat, I thought. That was part of the Summerwood experience, if we want to say that. Yeah. So now, Celeste, I was there to see an experience, to see what it would be like maybe to have an anniversary, a celebration. So how do you handle that? Because certainly I'm not the first one who ever thought about this in terms of celebrating an event there. You are in the vineyards. So I think you should describe, although we'll have some pictures, your setting, your setting really is inducing
Yeah.
celebration.
The setting's beautiful. It's rolling hills, vineyards. We're surrounded by vineyards. We have a 46-acre estate, 32 acres of vineyards planted. The buildings are beautiful. We're calling it farmhouse. They're big white kind of farmhouse contemporary buildings situated right in the vineyards. And then you have these majestic oaks dotted around. It's very peaceful. It's perfect place to celebrate an event.
So Angie, if somebody was going to you and saying, I'm bringing 20 people or
Yes.
the max I can at Summerwood, and it's our 55th or even 60th anniversary, or it's our first anniversary, what would you do? What would you ask them to tell you so that you could do the right thing for them?
Yeah. So I'm actually hosting a 50th wedding anniversary next month. It's very casual. They are bringing in a caterer on the Saturday. So they are just going to have simple barbecue. I got the flowers already situated. They're delivering them. She wanted it to be very casual, but yes, they're taking up the entire inn and they're going to have a big barbecue.
So Margaret, this is a traumatizing question.
Oh, go for it.
Not to you, to me. How much wine do you have to bring when you have, say, 20 people, say 40 people?
Oh,
People wonder, how much wine do I need? And it just goes berserk. That's the hardest question to answer.
It's
very simple.
It's very simple. There are 60 glasses of wine to one case. You have 20 individuals that'll drink 1 to 2 glasses per hour, and you calculate the math that way.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's really interesting. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, but I got to talk about bubbles. And again, because Margaret and I had discussed this. I'm a fan of bubbles. I'm a Prosecco fan. Now, you've got some very interesting bubbles at Summerwood Winery. Tell us about that.
So we grow Grenache Blanc here, Rhone White varietal. It is actually planted right behind the inn. So if you are staying with us, you will see those vineyards. And we harvest and then do the first fermentation. And then we send it off to a sparkling house on the east side of Paso Robles that has the facility to do it in the traditional method. So it is method champenoise. It is not soda streamed or gassed a white wine. So quite lovely. It is a nod to our owners. The label has the name Asaawa, which translates to morning bubbles. It's quite
In Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese, yep. And it is this gorgeous blue and gold. It is much different than any of our other labels. So it is festive and a wonderful celebration, which sparkling is for celebrating or drinking every day. But yes, it's a very special treat. Wonderful green apple on the palate. It's not brioche or yeasty and that traditional if you were using a Chardonnay, let's say, or a Brut. So it's got some nice character to it.
So before we leave, just for a short break, I'm going to ask you all the same question. Then when I come back, I'm going to tell you why I asked. If you were drinking bubbles, which could be cava, champagne, your own, what glass would you use? We'll start with you, Celeste.
Well, actually, you know what? I have an antique. It doesn't have a stem. I love antiques. It has like some detail on it. That would be my favorite glass.
Is it a flute? Is it a flute?
It's kind of flute shaped. It's very narrow. It's so pretty. It's got etched like kind of almost bubbles around decorating it.
For me, I say I actually would like to drink it out of a Pinot glass because I like to put my whole face in there.
So you will see when we come back why this is such an interesting question and such an interesting answer, Margaret.
So
Because you're the one who picks out glasses for the
I
people who are
know.
going.
Well, we are talking about Summerwood, but if you were to come to my house, I have a cabinet and I collect champagne or flutes or coupe glasses, all of the above, and none of them match. So it's a social experiment. So we pop the cork and each person gets to choose what glass they want. But when I choose my glass out of there, I had the pleasure of going to Moet and Chandon in Champagne, and there I was gifted a glass, and that's the one. And it's more of a tulip shape. It's the correct glass to drink champagne out of. there's a story there. So we go to a story. And so that's why I would choose that glass. But it is a fun social experiment to see what people choose.
What people choose. So every one of you, we're going to come back. We're going to really enjoy the local lore and the food and the drink and the wine at Summerwood. We're going to ask each of our panelists what to see in Paso Robles when we come back. So don't you guys go anywhere. Now, you all know I have an agenda here. I want you to donate. It's very easy to donate to Good Grief. You simply take a look at our show notes. You'll see how to text a donation, how to put a donation online, no problem at all. You'll know that if it's $35 or more, you will get a download of my latest book, The Retirement Income Explosion. It's gotten great reviews, but I also want to tell you that I've got a goal. And that goal is to have at least $10,000 more than we had without this podcast-a-thon. And all it takes is 300 of you. I'm told that thousands listen. So if 300 of you just contributed $35, we'd really have quite a nice presentation for Good Grief. And don't forget to tell your friends and bring them into it too. Donate. Thank you. And now we're back. And let me just reintroduce you to Angie, who is the Inn Manager at Summerwood Winery and Inn, to Margaret, who really is the head honcho when it comes to the tasting room and the wine club, and Celeste, who's the general manager. And I asked them all about the glasses. And if you noted, they did not give me the same answers. I am very upset about this because, yes, I am upset. Because I believe that there's a right answer to this. When I drink bubbles, and I only believe to drink in a flute. And I will tell you because, and then I'll give you the reason that this is so upsetting. Because it keeps the bubbles more tight and more, and this way I only have to drink one glass because it's still bubbly, even if I'm drinking slow.
I get it. But I do
Go to Italy, the world capital of Prosecco. And they give me Angie's glass. I interview a guy who's a sommelier, certified Italian wine specialist, and I ask him about a flute, and he says no. And he's giving me again Angie's glass. So this means I'm wrong. And anytime I'm wrong, I'm very upset. Even if it's about glasses. But I would like to be a fly on the wall in Margaret's house, because if you're listening, you would have heard that I would like to see this social experiment of who picks what glass and then analyze why that might be. Now, having said that, important part of drinking wine, never forget the glass. I want to go to a different part of your setting. So Celeste beautifully described the setting of Summerwood itself. By the way, it is a country house, and yet I just had that plantation feeling.
Yeah,
it does have pillars. It is white. You have all this 46 acres, the grounds that you could walk. There's flowers, there's art. It's quite beautiful. But you're in an iconic setting itself, which is Paso Robles, which is a town. I went, and it was the quietest, calmest, most welcoming place, and people had great food. And so as a local, just going to go one at a time, if you were going to recommend somebody going there now for the first time, Margaret, what's your favorite part of the town?
Favorite part of the town, I would say the welcoming. People are real, they're genuine. You ask them questions, they're honest with their answers. And I think there's a little bit for everyone in town. We have good shopping, we have different styles of restaurants that would appeal to most people, and then charm. The charm.
It's very charming. Angie, do you have a favorite restaurant?
I do. I would say LPC, which is downtown, Le Petit Canal, which I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
You are.
It is a French restaurant right downtown. It is one of my favorites.
And Celeste, favorite restaurant?
Ooh, tough one. I do like Hatch. That's really good. They do some good stuff. If I was going to get Japanese, I'd go to Goshi. That one's really good. There's a lot of good choices. I like to go around the park. I don't know if you went to the park area.
Yes.
That was just, that's kind of that's a good place to hang out and wonder when you're in
Now,
there.
there are two, people should know, if they're tourists, that there's kind of two parts to the area. One place that I stayed, which I really did enjoy and I've written about, and I actually had the owner on, was a big, big cattle ranch there, and you were actually glamping. People are going almost always for the wine and the food. So there's two different vibes, let's say, to the area, and it is a very, very big area, which is amazing. From a touristic point of view, are you seeing more guided tours coming now, or are people all do-it-yourselfers that are showing up?
I would say it's more do it yourself.
I would agree. The guided tours, I'm seeing less of those kind of pre-planned guided tours throughout through the tasting room. So yes, I would
Seems
agree.
to be more organic. They're just they're picking it, and they're not part of a larger tour.
Even with the room reservations, I've been noticing a lot of last minute bookings. So they're just kind of last minute bookings and just doing their own thing.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we do care about the cost. Here, we talk about cost a lot. And I would say that Summerwood is what they call in Britain value for money. It really is well priced for what you get. So I think people are getting more savvy. They're getting to be more of a do-it-yourselfer type when it's coming to California wine country, and they know what they want because it's not the new guy on the block anymore. Really now very established. Do you know the family's story when it comes to even starting this?
I think he came to the area and he fell in love with the area. I want to own a winery. And basically he did that.
I remember his daughter, when she came to visit, she said that he absolutely fell in love with Paso. It was like,
but she had said,
such a dream. She said for him to like find the perfect location.
yeah. And I think I remember her saying, I understand now why my dad fell in love with this place. Like she came and stayed at the inn and she was like, oh, I get it. I get why my dad fell in love with this place.
Yeah.
So
that was really cool to see. It was like such a sigh. And she was like, I get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to ask Margaret a question that would be more for tourists that are not U.S. tourists, but even some in the U.S. that are not from our area. They may not understand the distinction between Napa, Sonoma, and Paso Robles. When you're there enough, you get it. There's a difference. But how would you explain the difference?
Well, I've had the pleasure of living in Napa and also living in Paso Robles. 13 years in Napa and 14 years here in Paso. I would say what I see through my experiences is that Paso has other avenues of business as well as wineries and travel. I think that affects the community, and with that community and the charm, you get a little bit more approachable experience. Not that Napa is better or worse Napa is beautiful and wonderful as well, but it is all one industry driven. And I think Paso Robles has, diversity and community.
How about Angie? Do you have thoughts on that?
I agree with Margaret. I think that the sense of community here is great. Everybody supports everyone.
My feeling about it, and this is a real outsider's thought, there is something European about Napa. And there is something, and I'm saying this not in a bad way, but it's something copycatish. We're European, but we're here in the U.S. So you could also look at it as this perfect blend of, what's best in European wineries and what's best in the U.S. Paso Robles does not seem to be European. Even Summerwood is the quintessential American grand country house. That's what it looks like. It looks like the best of the USA. There's not a gargoyle in the joint. And look, it's Japanese, which makes it even more interesting. But the fact is that the whole area seems that way. The American West seems to be part of it.
Yes,
I think you got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas when you go to Napa, it's as much in Italy as you could be, or as much in France as you could be, and still be USA.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it always seems to me. Now, it may be because you're a newer kid on the block, and so you don't have to do that. You already had an established area that people were respecting the wine.
Yeah.
And possibly there, they wanted people to make the connection between the great wines of the world and what was trying to happen in the USA. And now we do want to talk about wine pairings, and then we will take a little break and come back. So I just spoke to a fellow who is, as I say, an Italian wine specialist. And I asked him about food pairings. And I'll tell you his answer. He says it doesn't matter. He said if a wine is good and you like it with that, it'll speak to you. That's something I need education. What have you guys seen? And we're going to start with Margaret because everybody's pointing at
Question.
They're all pointing at her. Doesn't matter what food
gotcha.
you're eating with the wines you're serving.
I do think that foods can kill the palate of wine. If you ate asparagus and then tried to drink a white wine, it's going to change it. People's palates are different, and I think that's exciting. I think that people will follow a certain winemaker because that winemaker's palate tastes a certain way, and one person might not like that winemaker's palate and one person will. So I do think there is some variances, but I do think there are foods that can kill the palate of wines.
Now, barbecue, for example. When you think of barbecue, Angie, your first thought is not wine. First thought is beer.
It is.
But it is for you.
Yeah.
So what are you serving?
So they are going to do ribs. They are going to do tri-tip. They are going to do barbecue chicken with the diosa and GS. Yeah. I think they're doing some sparkling too.
Yeah.
They're going to have a nice green salad. So when I think of barbecue, I think of wine.
I think a big bold red.
Yeah.
It's spice,
typically.
a little blue fruit, black pepper on the back note for sure. GSM's great. Syrah's great with barbecue. I grew up in Memphis, so barbecue.
So you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, she has a culinary background too.
Margaret does, yes.
So I'll ask this first of Celeste, but you have certain things that you do serve for breakfast. Is this farm to table? Because that's kind of what the vibe should be. And
Yeah, right.
What's the
I'll
feeling?
let Angie talk to how the chef kind of comes around.
Yeah, sure. So yes, we do get everything local. We get our strawberries from Santa Maria.
Oh, right.
He comes every other week. We get our avocados from and eggs, all from local farmers. They come every other day, very fresh. I'm sure you can taste it.
Yes.
So yes, it is all farm to table, I would say.
Yeah.
It's a very, very big menu too. A lot of
Yeah.
choices. Are you working with the local farmers and the local producers?
Yeah.
Very interesting. So when we come back, we're going to wrap up here. And what I want to talk to all of you about is, I did mention that we were talking first about the tourist that is there for the first time or maybe the second time. And now I'd like to talk about the person who wants to go there on a regular basis, maybe join a club. And you mentioned, Margaret, that one of the perks they get are events where they can actually meet each other. So I do want to talk about being involved with a winery for camaraderie, for connectivity when we come back. So don't you guys go anywhere. We'll be right back. If you've been thinking about a cruise, I've definitely got you covered with Cruises It. Now, we have just become affiliated with them. And who are they? Well, Cruises It is the top agency for all the main cruise lines and some of the less known cruise lines as well. Cruises It has access to booking space that's been open years in advance, so you can get the best cabins. That's just number one. But they also make the prices lower. The cruise lines give Cruises It their own exclusive agency discounts. And if you're not from the cruise line, they have their own agency discounts that would apply as well. So you get both any discounts you would normally get on the cruise line, plus additional discounts that are given exclusively to Cruises It because they bring in so much business. On top of all those discount perks, when you book with them, you get the best rate guaranteed. And this is because Cruise Fair Watch system takes place. Now, what Cruises It does is it tracks the pricing until the final payment date. So you keep in mind that to get the best rate guaranteed, you have to use my site. We have affiliated with them specifically. I sat down, I met with them in Tucson, Arizona. I met with Marianne Weather. We've now become good friends. She gave me a direct line, not only a link, which you can certainly use right away, but if you have questions, even a specific phone number. Cruises, it offers this not just to anyone that is one of our followers, but if you have friends and family, you can bring them in too. So just take a look at the show notes and you will see our dedicated phone line and our dedicated link. Happy sailing. And now we are back, and we're back with three delightful people who really know what it's like to be in the world of hospitality. They really make that the centerpiece of everything they're doing. Celeste, who's the general manager, and Margaret, who is the tasting room honcho. I call her the guru, and she's also, of course, the wine club guru. We're going to talk a lot about that again in a minute. And Angie, who's the inn manager. What's the inn? Summerwood Winery and Inn in Paso Robles. Now, one of the things that we're missing sometimes in the world, particularly in tourism, is camaraderie. We meet each other, we have a good time, we didn't know each other before, we exchange emails, we're going to see each other, and then we never see each other again. And we never use the emails and we forget. But when you belong to a wine club of the traditional type, not the subscription type, you're actually creating a community that all belong, and then events are created where people get together at different times of the year. And I experienced that in one of the wineries by accident. I heard some noise and I was going to my glamping, and it happened to be that this winery was near them, and it was the day of their big event. And it was a sight to see. It really was interesting. So what do you do over at Summerwood?
We do host what we call a pickup party. That's for the first week in May. You get 2 tickets with compliments with your membership. This last year, we did a passport theme. So you received your passport and a glass of that asaawa when you were greeted. And there were several stations with different countries paired with wine. So you got a small bite paired with that wine. And you could go to those different stations as you were enjoying your time. And then we had live music. And then you picked up your allocation for that shipment. So you went through production, you went through the tasting room, through the barrel room, and then outside was the band in front of the vineyards.
And people know each other. They had known each other. Sure. Yeah, and it's a way to keep in touch among all other things. Yeah.
They look forward to it each year. And then we have some signature events. We've got a harvest winemaker dinner. We have a spring release dinner. And then we have Cynthia, which is in August. It is our Grand Cru dinner, shall we say. So white tablecloth. Library Cynthia is featured and paired with food in multiple courses. And then we're going to bring back a new dinner that was done in the past called Diosa, which is our Syrah or our Rhone blend. And it'll be another seated dinner. So members get discounts on those tickets and
Stay at the inn.
Yeah, stay at the inn and see one another again. So we have 5 signature events a year, and it's quite lovely.
The Cynthia dinner is really nice. It's at night, and it's in that back part of the inn under the 3 big oak trees.
They're beautiful.
It was just like tables scattered. It's under the stars. We've got the fairy lights up. We bring in a guest chef. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then there's live music, and then you're just visiting with people. You're sitting with people you don't know at the table, so you're making those connections, friends, or you're sitting at a table with people you brought. I don't know. It just whatever
is perfect.
And the weather's like ideal.
It's the best.
It's the perfect weather. It's just a great event.
That's what I meant at the beginning of the show when I said lucky. The weather was perfect. The place was perfect.
Yeah.
The wine was perfect. I felt perfect. It really was a moment in time that was created. It's what you really do call hospitality. I do want to ask Angie, though, something. So people come and stay at the inn for these special events, and they know each other, and it's a great place because you've got outdoor seating, indoor seating, all kinds. What about families? wineries are really not a place where you bring your 3-year-old. But I'm just curious as to whether you get kids or 3 generations or what the story is with that.
So, for example, the anniversary party that I'm having next month, there's going to be quite a bit of kids. I would say during spring break and summer, we do get families that stay with us. And then throughout the year, we get families that travel together with like their parents and their kids. So we welcome them all.
Yeah, we do have the nice lawns that the children enjoy, even though it is a winery.
What's the rules in the tasting room for underage kids?
Oh, you can bring them. Yeah.
We're very family friendly.
Music tonight,
Yeah.
actually.
We have music. We call it Music on the Lawn series. It's on select Fridays from 4 to 7. We bring a food truck in. You bring your picnic blankets. You bring your
Kids
lawn
will-
chairs.
Bring your kids.
I went to the grocery store this morning and got Capri Suns and sodas. So we have non-alcoholic drinks as well. And it's very family friendly and laid back. And the food truck today is called PPK Pizza on the Park. It's these
Pizza truck. Yeah.
great pizzas. So yeah.
And actually, the music today is
Yeah.
one of our
Yeah.
local youth. They have a little band, and we wanted to support our local youth. So we have the Beck Beasley band coming today. So we're hoping for, some families to show up and just have a good time for a few hours and drink a little wine, have a picnic, get some pizza.
Yeah.
Just
So
have
now you get it. Anybody listening now understands what I meant by the magic here, the vibe. It's that's it. You got that in a nutshell, and it's so joyful and so beautiful. So I thank you so much. It was really one of the top experiences, and I've been to wineries in many places in the world, including near you. But Summerwood is something special. And I want everybody to be part of all this. It's very easy. You just get your free subscription. There is no charge for Travel Tuesday. It comes every Tuesday. What a surprise. And every Tuesday, we have a brand new podcast for you. We have a lot of free ebooks like Luxury Travel for Less. I would call Summerwood part of that luxury travel. And when I look at some of those $2,000 a night places, it's certainly less. And I will say that value. And also, we do bring people on trips. We're just thinking about Japan right now, which is maybe I'll speak to your owners and see what they suggest. So for all of this and joining our free Facebook salon, please remember this. Go to agelesstraveler.com or take a look at our show notes. You'll also be able to get all the information about Summerwood. You'll be able to get all the information about their wine club. All of this right here on our show notes and the Travel Tuesday newsletter. And never stop traveling.